Let's read some new releases in a few books before they're even out yet. I got my hands on a few ARC, so advanced reader copies, some of my most anticipated releases of 2025, so I thought, why not do a vlog just reading them? I'm really trying to keep on top of things in 2025, and I feel like what better way to have a great reading year than reading the books you're the most excited about. So let's get to it. I made you vote recently because I have a few options and I wasn't sure what to do. And of course, you had the reasonable answer to try and focus on the ones that are the closest to being released, which makes sense. So let's do just that. The first book I will be reading just came out in January, and it is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This is going to be my fourth book by him. I have been reading everything and enjoying everything. I think all three books so far I have read I gave 4-star to, and they've just been really solid books. They're all horror, which for some reason I didn't think of myself as someone that loved horror. Clearly that's not true. I just needed to find a good author, and he seems to be the one for me. This one especially caught my eye because of Witchcraft. I'm a big witches fan, and I'm hoping I'm also going to enjoy this one. So this one is set in 1970, and you're following a few girls that got pregnant. They're underage, so of course their family are sending them away to this home where they will be giving birth and then returning home without the baby. And while they are there, I think someone gives them a book about magic, and things will go from there. I'm assuming things are going to go wrong because horror, but I'm excited for them. I'm hoping maybe some kind of revenge story, because that's another thing I really like female rage. So hopefully that will satisfy that craving. It's the thickest book I have read so far by him. I think this one is like just under 500 pages. So a pretty thick one, but I'm really excited and hoping maybe it'll do 4-star. I would be happy. 5 would be even better, but 4 would be good. So that's the first one. And in terms of ARC, so the books that are not out yet, but they are coming out, I made you vote, like I said. So I won't be reading The Devils, even though it was pretty highly requested. I think I will do a part 2 to this video. And there's another one, the one by V. Schwab coming out. I think this one is coming out in June. So again, I'll do the video just before these two are released because I'm excited about both of them. They're definitely books that I really want to read, and I think I will also give 5-star to. But for this vlog, I have time to read at least one, maybe 2. But I will be reading A Drop of Corruption because I read, actually I have it here, I read The Tainted Cup last year and it made it to my best books of the year. 5-star, loved it. It's a murder mystery in a high fantasy world, and I really enjoyed the magic system. I really enjoyed the political intrigue. We're kind of just getting a hint of it because they were really focused on the magical murder mystery happening, and I'm hoping we're going to get more answers in book 2 since they seem to be going to go like to the big city. And I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more. So that's the book. I think it's released April 1st. So I think this is the first one I will be reading. I'm dying to read it. I have a feeling it's going to be another 5-star, but no matter what, it's not released yet, and I want to be able to tell you if it's worth it or not. Probably, hopefully. So these ones I was pretty sure I wanted to read for this vlog, but then the one that you requested I add to this is released on the, I think it's 25th of March, and it is When the Moon Hits Your Eye, which John Scalzi tends to write kind of funny sci-fi books, and for some reason it just works as humor. I keep saying that it's like dad jokes, and it is. And as a good example, this book is a standalone sci-fi that includes the moon turning into cheese, which I would not read that from anybody else. Because it sounds cheesy, pun intended, but I'm assuming I'm going to have another good time because, again, I've enjoyed his other books. I have read 3-4 of his books so far, and I liked all 4. So why not a 5th one? And like I said, this one is coming out very soon, so I might as well read it. So I think in total, it's almost 1,300 pages if I read all 3 books. So I have about 10 days. I'm going to try my hardest. Maybe we'll stretch it a day or 2 because I really want to try to read all 3 of them. Like I said, this year so far, all my reading vlogs have gone so well. If you haven't seen them, I'll link them. But so far, I've had the best time and I want to continue on that line. So we're going to try to have fun this week. And speaking of fun, I wanted to thank June's Journey for sponsoring this video. If you don't know, they are a free to download video game where you're trying to resolve the murder of your sister and her husband. It is set in the 1920s, so you get the cute backgrounds, the music to go with it. And it's essentially a hidden object mystery game. So you get a list of objects to find on the screen, and it becomes harder and harder over time, and you have more and more objects to find. What I like about it is that you can decide to be as competitive as you want, or you can do it as a pretty relaxing game. Personally, I started relaxed and then I got more and more into it. I'm actually now at level 31, so I definitely got into it. And as I like to say, in my personal opinion, this is the best way, the only way I want to be included in a murder mystery. just having fun. You can also play it on your own, or you can join a club if you prefer. You also get to decorate the island, which I am terrible at, but I'm having fun trying. So if you're interested, I will be including a link in the description box. I highly recommend you check it out. I personally have been really having fun with it. On that note, I will go ahead and take care of Claudia that has been yelling behind the door the whole time, and we're gonna attack book 1, which, are you into witches? Because I feel like as soon as a book contains magic, I'm like, sold. That's all I care about. So let's get to this one. I finished my first book for the vlog, so Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, which I liked it. I'm so happy. This is my 4th book by the author, and I think this is going to be my 4th 4-star. I think this is the best one though, out of the 4. I think I'm going to put on the screen, I'm going to put the order best one to worst one, but again, all 4 stars. I really like the topic in general. I think it's a really interesting, important topic, but not necessarily easy to discuss. These young girls, you know, getting pregnant, sent away by their family because they don't want to have to deal with the consequences, and they're the only ones always having to deal with the consequences, which is discussed at length in here. And then, you know, them finding magic and a little bit of a revenge story. Solid. It was solid. I feel like the author, it's my 2nd time reading a book by him that follows teenage girls, and it would have been so easy to go, you know, into the whole misogyny, because making fun of teenage girls, their choices, and everything that they like constantly is really popular in society, and he didn't. Yes, the bar is low, but I appreciated it. And there's even a scene where there's an older female character that is naked, and it would have been very easy to make comments about it, and he did not go there, which again, the bar is low, but still appreciated. Still, I think that the horror elements in here are more often than not the realistic ones. The whole like section that they're discussing, obviously these young girls are pregnant and they're gonna have to give birth, and nobody cares about them. Like, they are just vessels for babies to, you know, give birth and then being adopted or sold, or whatever they did with them, and then just sent away. I feel like it's a topic I get really passionate about because they do mention how unfair it is. First off, everyone is lying to them, and second of all, they're only the only people having to deal with the consequences, right? In majority of the time, even today, statistically speaking, the young girls, the underage girls that are pregnant, it's usually not by people that are also minors. And like, it's the fact that they're the only one having to go through that, not having a choice if that's not an option. And then they also have to deal with, sure, physical consequences, everything, but also the shame and financial if they decide to keep the baby or not. Like it's just, I get really, really pissed off. So, but I appreciate that this becomes, you know, a little bit of a revenge story whenever they do get their hands on this witchy book and maybe try to get their revenge. I don't want to say too much because I do think that this book is worth reading. It's a little on the chunky side. 475 pages, that's the longest book I have read by him, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, 4.25 maybe. I'm gonna give myself, you know, a few days to think about it, but yeah, I do think this is my favorite book by him, and I highly recommend it. I'm a huge lover of witches and revenge stories, like female rage, and you get a bit of it in here. There were a few like magical elements, but I think it wasn't as heavy on the fantasy elements that I expected. And the horror, like I said, really relied on how most of it was realistic. So yay! It was awful, but great, you know? I have a feeling this is going to be his most popular book. That's my prediction. And if you have read it, please let me know in the comment section how you felt about it. I only have, I think, Final Support Girl group and the Southern Club, whatever, the vampire one. I think those are the last 2 I have to read by him, and I will be fully caught up, which that kind of suck, but maybe 2 more 4-star. Would not complain. So we're starting the vlog with a really, really solid book. It's going to be hard to beat it, but I did grab my Kindle because I have to read the 2 arcs now. We're going to start with 1, but I have a feeling, okay, I've been staying up late. I'm tired, but it's worth it because I'm enjoying it. So we're going to be reading, and by we, it's me and the cats, A Drop of Corruption. So the second book after, I had it right here. Where is it? Oh, The Tainted Cup. So I did really love that one. Like I said, a high fantasy murder mystery in a high fantasy world. And I'm hoping I'm going to get more answers for the world building, because we only got hints of what was going on, because it was really focused on the investigation, murder mystery, and like a little bit of political intrigue, but we were getting hints of they're set in the north, at least the first book was set there. There's this giant wall to try and protect them from these giant leviathans that every year attack them, and that's where their magic comes from. And they just use the blood of the leviathans, and it's very unstable, and like they're creating their magic base with that, and that's how even he got, you know, the powers that he has. And I want more answers, okay? I know that's not really what the book is about, but I want answers. I feel like we're gonna get some throughout the whole series. So that's my quest here. Obviously, I'm hoping I'm gonna enjoy Anna, actually, as a character, because she was great, and we're gonna hopefully get more answers about the magic. But hopefully the murder mystery is also fun. So I'll keep you updated, but I have a good feeling. That's also a big one. I think it's 480 pages. So I might not sleep a lot this week, but it's going to be worth it. So I have a good feeling. Book 1 I gave 5-star too, so maybe, we'll see. Good morning. Time for a very, very sleepy update. I finished the second book. I may have stayed up late, which, I mean, it's good. It took me a week to read like 1,000 pages. Do I recommend doing it? No. Do I regret it? Absolutely not, because I did also enjoy this book, so it's good. And before I forget, I wanted to mention, because I'm trying to keep up with new releases a little bit better, hence reading, you know, an advanced reader copy, but as much as everyone liked Legends and Lattes, and the prequel was still okay, there's going to be a sequel. I just saw it. I wanted to announce it in case nobody else knew, because I didn't, and it's coming out, I think, November, before the end of the year. I'll put it on the screen. I'm really excited because I have been enjoying cozy fantasy, so I think it's great that we have more to look forward to. So I have like 2 brain cells left at the moment, so I wanted to use them before I forget. But let's go back to the book. So the positive, like I said, I did enjoy it. That's cool. I think this is my 5th book by the author. And I have read this other series, the first 2 books in his other series. I think it's the Divine City series. So City of Blades, City of Stairs. I've enjoyed them because they're also murder mystery in a fantasy world. And my only complaint, because they were both 4 stars, is that I wish I was a little bit more emotionally invested. And I think it's something that I've noticed at this point that it's a pattern for me with this author. However, in this newest series by him, Anna kind of saves it for me. I would not want to follow her as the main point of view because she is completely unhinged, but she's fun to have in the story. So this book specifically, I enjoyed the beginning. You have the setting, there's the murder mystery happening, there's this king that is assassinated, and it's a little bit like a lock room murder mystery, so it has to be someone in the room. There was only a few people, they were serving tea, and the 3rd time that the tea is served, the king dies, poisoned. So it has to be someone there, so they are sent to investigate there, and we do get actually a little bit of answers for the Leviathans, which is what I was saying that I kind of wish, you know, we would. And we are slowly learning more about the story of, you know, the land and the magic system. So I'm really happy about that. I'm hoping that it's going to continue, which I'm assuming that we will, because we seem to be approaching the inside of the kingdom more and more with each book. So maybe we're going to get more of that in the 3rd book, which I'm assuming there will be a 3rd book. I was enjoying it. It was kind of slowing down towards the middle, but then Anna shows up, and I feel like it just made me realize that she makes the story more interesting to me. I've mentioned she's kind of Sherlock Holmes, but with magic. She likes to wear a blindfold, and that's the way she just doesn't get overstimulated, but she's able to figure out everything easily, but not too easily. Like, it still makes sense. We're getting more answers about all of that, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think I'm going to round it down to a 4. So my first 2 books are going to be 4 stars. So we are up to a very, very solid start. Am I having a good time? It doesn't really look like it because I've been spending basically all my waking moments. I'm not busy reading, and it makes the vlog a little just focus on the reviews, but that's fine. That's fine. I feel like I would rather right now read all of these new releases because I'm really excited about them than, you know. I was hoping to do reorganizing my bookshelves in this vlog, but I think I'm going to do like a specific video for it towards the end of the month maybe, because I have so much to do. Like, you can't tell, but like there's just so much crap everywhere. So maybe I'll do like a clean with me for the library, because I really want to read one more book. So, you know, I'm going to get the ebook for the John Scalzi one, and my expectations are probably lower for that one, but I kind of don't mind because, again, the first 2 books so far for this vlog went really well. I've really enjoyed myself, and I think if you enjoyed book 1, you're going to enjoy book 2. And if you just want to try murder mystery and fantasy world, because I've been recommending or raving about that concept a lot, I do think this series is worth it. I think it's my favorite series by him. Ooh, actually, I'm realizing both books from these authors I've read before, it's my favorite book or series. So, will John Scalzi also be your favorite? Also, I haven't really included any cat content, I think, in this vlog so far. Again, my last brain cells are struggling now, but I wanted to show you yesterday. They were napping all together. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. Claudia, Charlie, Chip, Chunk. Why are you not looking at me, Chunk? Oh, big yawn. Aren't they cute? 4 babies. Hi, sweet girl. Hi, sweet girl. Hi, sweet boy. Hi, old man. Hi, Chunk. So sweet. Pretty girl. I feel like they finally are starting to accept the kitten because he's starting to not be as insane, which we're all grateful. Not fully, but, you know, they're having more cute moments, and I appreciate it. I'll include more cat content in a future vlog because, like I said, right now I'm really busy and every second I have is dedicated to reading, which, cool. So no more time to chat. I'm gonna go and start book 3. Okay, so while my chemical exfoliator is doing its thing, I can chit chat about the last book because I finally finished the John Scalzi book, and I have thoughts to share. I'm going to start by saying that I enjoy his books because they are fun sci-fi, and I feel like sci-fi tends to be hard to get into. Hard sci-fis can be intimidating, and in general, they tend to be dense, and his books are humorous, and there aren't that many that are like that, so I can appreciate that. It's not good that I start with that, huh? The plot to begin with sounded, I keep saying cheesy, but that's what it is, and you know, the moon is turning into cheese, fine. But I feel like if you go into it to have fun, that's a plot I can get behind from an author I've enjoyed before. Unfortunately, it started good, and then midpoint I almost put it down. I think I was like 52% or something into it. I was losing interest because you're flip-flopping between so many point of views, like it's almost never the same person again. So it was hard to get really into the story, but I wanted to like it, you know? And it eventually picked back up, but for a while towards the middle, I was literally this close to DNFing it. And like normally I would have, but it's a book that's not out yet. I really wanted to, you know, give it a fair shot. And unless you are a huge fan or you really like the idea of this plot, I would say skip it. Yeah. So like I was saying, yes, the moon turns into cheese. The planet is losing it. Obviously, it affects certain things. What I did think was interesting is that samples of the moon are on Earth, right? And they also turn into cheese, which, like, why? Are we gonna get answers? I can tell you in the comment section, but I think it's kind of obvious. There was a mission that was planned to send people on the moon, so obviously everything has to take a step back. There's, of course, a billionaire deciding that they want to go in space and they're gonna sneak into mission. That's their plan. They always wanted to go to space. And while the author kind of hint at other billionaires, that billionaire's red like the other ones, but I guess when there is one, they're all the same. And that was one of the point of views. There's also, again, some of the astronauts that were meant to go, but also like random people, like people working at a cheese shop. It is the most random book I've ever read, or at least that I've read in a really long time. And I don't know what else to tell you at this point. It was just hectic, and some point of views were more interesting than others. When it got to the political one, again, I'm gonna keep it vague, that one is where I was almost like done with the book, because like, where is this going at this point? I'm not feeling it. Okay, now that it has dried, I'm gonna move on to my advanced nail repair, which I think is funny that some of you call me out, like, are you still not using this? I've used this for like, what, like 10 years at this point? I am using it after chemical exfoliators because it helps calm down any redness or, you know, irritation. So I still do use it. I mean, you can tell. I still use it. It's a classic for a reason. So, oh, I'm silly. I forgot my toner. It's fine. We'll skip it. If it had been my first Joan Scalzi, it would have been my last Joan Scalzi. I'm just gonna say it. But because I have read and enjoyed like 4 of his other books, I will continue to read his books. So I think I read a little portion of like the acknowledgement at the end accidentally. You know, the eyes just keep moving. And he said that it turned out to be like a hard book to write, and I'm like, don't want to be mean, but like maybe it wasn't. To each their own. I'm sure some people are gonna enjoy this book and it might be someone's favorite, but yeah, it was too long to be just a fun, humorous book, you know? Is it the books for like 200 pages? I feel like it would have been better than 330 or something. So I had a very long week. I read a lot. 2 out of 3 were definitely worth it, and I would recommend them. 1 just came out, the Grady Enrich, so, you know, came out last month, and A Drop of Corruption is coming out. I think it's April 1st. So you have time to read A Tainted Cup if you haven't, and then you can continue, and then we can have fun in the comment section talking about Anna. I feel like she's what's saving me in terms of enjoyment with that series. So was it a success? I think so. 3 books. Yes, I have 2 more books that are big arcs that I really want to read. So I think I'm going to do part 2 for this ongoing series, I guess, of catching up to new releases or books that are about to come out. So I will have The Devils and Our Bodies Buried Under the Midnight. I don't know. I don't know why I cannot soil. I don't know why I can't remember this title ever, but those are the 2 that I will do in like part 2 when I do that eventually. And I feel like I haven't included the cats in my videos lately, but they've been quiet. I don't know. I mean, when I'm recording, not the rest of the time, because they always are doing something, honestly. Like the baby is probably the most chill of the cats, which is suspicious. But when he gets into trouble, he gets into trouble. Like the little thing he does is he likes to steal the sponges. I use these like flat sponges to clean their plates before putting them in the dishwasher. And he likes to steal them. Like he can barely, like he just drags them and he walks funny. And I will just wake up with a sponge in the living room. Not every day, but often enough. But unfortunately, now he has been having fun. Oh my god, I applied a lot, huh? If you're not applying too much, you're not applying enough of this cream. But the latest thing he's had fun doing is attacking the humidifier, which it's so dry, which is why I'm like kicking it on when it's not even empty. So it just empties itself. So I left it in the kitchen, so if it leaks, at least it's on the ceramic instead of the wood. It's not fun. It's not good. So yeah, usually it's pretty chill though for a cat. The other ones, not so much. I feel like every vlog I've had this year so far has been really good. My next one is going to be part 2 of reading your best books of last year. So wish me luck. I might need it because I'm intimidated. I feel like the first vlog I read 3 books I was pretty much sure I was going to love, and I did. And now they're the ones that I'm less sure, so a little nervous, but I think it's gonna go well. I look like a glazed donut, which means I'm gonna look amazing tomorrow. If you are interested, don't forget to check out June's Journey. Everything will be a link in the description box, and I'll put on the screen actually the vlog I was mentioning, reading your best books of last year, because that went really, really well. And I also did book haul. If you haven't seen it, I bought a couple books. They were great. I don't think I'm going to do the one anytime soon because it's -30 outside. I'm not going anywhere, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.